Call of Duty has officially dropped Verdansk news, and there is so much here that we need to talk about. After seeing all the news, it feels like we might just have OG Warzone back. And if you stay to the end of the video, we got an insane leak of a gun coming back that nobody knows about. So without further ado, let's go over the blog that they just put out 5 minutes ago. Here we go. First and foremost, rebuilt from the ground up just as you remember it. A lot of people have probably been wondering whether the Verdansk we get right now is going to feel OG like it once did in 2021. It does seem like we're mostly getting the OG Verdansk. Call of Duty says that the map has been rebuilt to be the same as the original map you remember. This is around 95% of the play space. They describe it as just the same as the Verdansk 2020 map with beneficial adjustments. New elements within an existing area based on the current game design with quality of life upgrades in mind. It's the exact same Verdansk that we had back in 2020. You have all your favorite POIs like airport, storage town, superstore, hospital, downtown. From what it seems like, it's going to be the exact same as we remember it. Call of Duty also gave us visual comparisons of 2020 Verdansk and 2025 current Verdansk. As you can see right here, on the left is Verdansk 2020, and on the right is Season 3 Verdansk. It does seem like they cleared things up to make things actually visible. Here's another example. If you look at the top two pictures, I don't really like that they made the right side or the current one look a little bit dirtier, but it is what it is. But the bottom side, I think the visual clarity is what I noticed the most. Just something to keep in mind that in 2020, it was a different engine than what they're using right now, which pretty much means that they're able to make the graphics a lot better. The next ones are pretty cool too. The left is Verdansk 2020 and the right is current Verdansk. The shadows and the detail quality definitely looks a lot better now, but I know most of us are probably gonna run our game on low graphics anyways. These top two pictures I really like. I hate when Call of Duty decides to do really dull graphics and really dull colors. I don't know what you guys think, but I personally like this. And the one thing that I've noticed the most here is that on the right side, you can actually see inside the buildings. One of the biggest problems right now is that you can't see inside of windows when playing in Urzikstan. Call of Duty said the top floor windows are now open and more illuminating interior lighting. I hope this is across the board between all of Verdansk. These next four pictures are all Verdansk 2025. If you look at the top right of your screen, car dealership has been changed. Apart from it being visually a lot cleaner, as you can see, one of the signs have fallen, which makes it easier to go into the second story of car dealership. If you look at the bottom left, you can see that the airplane looks a lot more detailed. And lastly, they added a couple changes to the map, which you can see here. For example, on the top left, you have zip lines. On the top right, you have zip lines leading out of the water, which does mean that there will be water, but from what it seems like, it's only going to be on the outside of the map. On the bottom right, you actually have a pathway to climb up this mountain, and on the bottom left, there's some trenches and things like that. For the most part, it does seem like it's going to be the OG Verdansk with just some improvements here and there, which honestly, I think that is the best bet, and I'm glad they went down that route. And here there's more fan favorite POIs. For example, my favorite is Superstore. It does seem to be a lot cleaner looking and a lot brighter, which I do like. Hospital, probably one of the most insane POIs that I know a lot of people love, does look cleaner as well. This next one is a big one. Ascenders or zips will not be in the game on launch, but somewhere in Season 3, they will be adding them. I love this next one. It says the lighting of the exterior map, the draw distance at range, general visibility, and haze of the map has been adjusted to enhance clarity and minimize glare. This is a huge thing wrong with the game. I'm so glad they're finally addressing it. The lighting of interiors have been adjusted to favor more immediate spotting of enemy operators, and the glare between existing and entering interiors has been reduced. Or to put it another way, minimizing the advantage of hiding in dark corners wearing a rose skin. I love that. Now let's get into the actual features coming back. This is the actual bread and butter here. Call of Duty says, with the arrival of the most important map in Call of Duty Warzone's history, this has resulted in the return of many fan favorite features. Numerous back to basic gameplay elements that harken back to the very first iteration of the game, along with the latest in current and fan favorite mechanics, all without sacrificing what made Verdansk special in the first place. I'm telling you, they're going as far away from Warzone 2 as they can, and I'm so happy for it. Call of Duty Warzone Omni Movement adjustments. Now this one is a little bit weird. If there's anything that I'm scared of, it's right here. In a nutshell, to summarize this, Call of Duty has decided to slow things down just a bit. I do know that this is a touchy subject only because some people love Omni Movement and some people hate it. The thing that I mostly see from people that hate Omni Movement is that the game feels very slippery and like the whole entire floor is just waxed. which I get. It is a big learning curve when it comes to movement. I personally love the movement right now, and I'm sad to see it be slowed down. I just hope they don't make the mistake that Warzone 2 did and dial things back completely and make things feel incredibly slow. We'll see. Only time's gonna tell here for this one. Now, the next one, I know a lot of people are gonna be really excited about. 150 players is coming back. The original announcer is back, original cinematics, and shooting during infill. I'm telling you, this was their worst mistake ever, going from 150 to 100 players back in Warzone 2. With there being 150 players, the stakes have now been raised, and I hope the game actually feels like a BR again. Shooting during free fall, I know a lot of people love it, but some people do hate it. I hope this means that even if you're coming back with some type of sub or AR, like you can now when you're coming back from the gulag, that no matter what, you draw a pistol when flying out the air. I think having an automatic AR is kind of insane, so this does seem dope, and I'm really excited to have shooting out the air back. Now let's move on to a couple other things. Crates, armor satchels, looting, loadouts, high-value loot zones. All of this is coming at launch and some of these in mid-season. This includes original supply box colors, original floating loot, and original armor satchel. In regards to the original supply box colors, they say once you're on the ground, it's time to loot. You're likely to hear the familiar original hum. Yes, I love this. Right now, the chest audio is horrible, so if they have the original sounds coming back, I do think it's gonna be a lot easier to spot these. Next is floating loot, and I know all of y'all are excited for this one. We've been asking for it since they took it away from us during Warzone 2. Here we have some examples of floating loot, and oh my god, I'm so excited. It says, as expected, ground loot, whether found at a buy station supply crate or after inspecting a downed foe, is color-coded based on rarity and now springs out of a crate in a variety of directions and floats a few inches off the ground, just as it did originally. One change that I'm not too fond about is the original armor satchel. It says the original armor satchel, first added during Season 3 Reloaded of Modern Warfare 2019, is also back, enabling 8 armor plates to be carried instead of the normal 5 without the satchel. The armor satchel is found in supply crates or as ground loot. I do think this one's gonna be a little bit weird, only being able to carry 5 plates off rip. I know we had that back in the day, but as of right now, I think we're able to carry 6, and then once you get a satchel, you carry 12. So I do think plates are gonna be very hard to find. The next thing that they say is they've removed all other satchels, which I do think is awesome. The ammo satchel is gone. Hope we don't run into the issue of not being able to find actual ammo, but I do like the thought of people not being able to have 5 nades and 6 stuns. Current loadouts and perks. Before infill to Verdansk, you're able to create multiple custom loadouts as normal to use in match, with the full selection of Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and BO6 weapons and equipment. This includes weapons, primary pistol, melee, tactical lethals, 3 perks, and a wild card. So wild cards will be back, which is not from OG, but let's see how it plays out. High value loot zones are returning. I do love these higher tier zones because it does make it like a hot drop. Superstore is awesome and people love it because it is a hot drop. And I believe that they wanted to do this to other POIs and giving people a reward for landing at other places. Now this next one, I am incredibly excited. Again, I'm sorry if I'm getting you hyped. I cannot contain my emotions. I'm just a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve. The original buy station has returned. If you look here on the right side of your screen, you're gonna see that we're gonna have the OG UI system. We have the OG buy station, we have the vertical layout, and I love this new feature that they're adding where if you press X or square, you can revive all your teammates if you have enough money. Thank God we're going away from this Hulu system in Warzone 2. Good riddance. They say it's time to retrain your muscle memory and remember where all the Verdansk buy stations appeared, as these equipment hubs appear semi-randomly across Verdansk in the same place they spawned originally. I kind of don't like that. I like it when they're static, but hey, it's all good. The only balloons you can buy now are plunder related, which I do love. Listen, before people get it twisted, I do love balloons. I do love portable balloons, but only when they make sense. When balloons were introduced back in Caldera, they made sense. Caldera was a horrible map with a horrible map layout. And honestly, balloons were a cop-out for bad map design. So when those were implemented, I enjoyed them and a lot of other people did too. But when it comes to Verdansk, they don't need that. I'm really glad to see these portable balloons gone. For Specialist perk, one of the most important items of all from the current iteration of the game is set to be added into buy station inventories at the Season 3 Reloaded update. Perhaps it's also hidden elsewhere. I will literally name my firstborn Activision if we get Nakatomi Tower back with Specialist bonus. Now, when it comes to the equipment, they've adjusted things to pretty much align with the original experience. Build upgrades like munitions box, heartbeat sensor, deployable cover, PDS, trophy system, loadout drop markers, armor box, and recon drones are all back. For kill streaks, UAVs, advanced UAVs, precision airstrikes, cluster strikes, and bunker busters. Oh god, I hate bunkers. For equipment, we have flashbangs, smoke grenades, concussion grenades, decoy grenades, snapshots, stims, frag grenades, semtex, C4s, spring binds, molotovs, and throwing knives. They are going to be bringing back a couple lethals. For example, here is the thermite. It is coming on launch. The armor box you can find in loot or in the buy station inventory. The deployable cover is only in loot. The heartbeat sensor is a little bit different. They call it the baby monitor. This limited use tablet displays rough information about nearby enemies using the current interface. The device is no longer a tactical, it is now a field upgrade and uses the more upgraded awareness system of the current model, with faster detection at greater distances. Munitions box is in the loot pool and at the buy station. Recon drones are only in the loot pool and trophy systems are only in the loot pool as well. The portable decontamination station is said to return in mid-season, and for those that don't know what that is, it pretty much makes you safe in the gas. The selection of support kill streaks echoes those available in March 2020, with the cluster strike, precision airstrike, and UAV all available. The current advanced UAV is also added to this lineup due to its added tactical benefits. Though it is only available if players use 3 consecutive UAVs, all kill streaks are available from the buy station or as ground loot. Now, the bunker buster is scheduled to come in mid-season, which I don't like. I personally hate bunkers. I just think they shouldn't be in the game. Now, for contracts, they have the original bounty, most wanted, and scavenger. Now, we all know what those are. There's no really need to go over them, but what other ones are coming? The recon is set to return, the supply run is set to come back as well, and the contract multipliers are set to come back. Keep an eye on completing contracts throughout an entire match, as the original contract multiplier system is back. Pretty much complete a contract, get another one, and everything multiplies. This is then capped at your 5th contract. For those of you that don't remember, this was absolutely insane, and I am excited to have it back. Big game bounties and the recon train are set to come back, but in mid-season. The in-game public events are set to return as well. Things such as the original fire sale, jailbreak, and loadout drops, and even restock. Some people have been asking for this next one, original capture the flag gulag variant. In the current Warzone, there's a zip in the middle of the map that appears whenever overtime has commenced. But back in the OG, there was a flag that appeared in the middle, and if you stood on it and captured it, you won the gulag. This is now back. Now for vehicles, because we know these needed a lot of love. The heli is back, the cargo truck, the LTV, the Polaris Razor Pro R4, and the ATV are all back. Here they say all vehicles are receiving a tuning pass. This rebalancing is designed to ensure these handle and steer in the spirit of the original iteration of the game, with more rapid acceleration and handling. Thank God, Warzone 2 vehicles were horrible. We have the one, the only OG heli returning. This heli was absolutely insane. It was so quick, so nimble, and I'm so glad it's back as well. The OG cargo truck is back as well, aka the Big Daddy Bertha. The LTV is back, which this one is pretty broken. Hashtag ad, the Polaris Razor Pro R4 is set to come back too. And the fast ATV is back as well. I hope they make this one really good like it was in OG. Now let's get into some more info when it comes to the actual gameplay. Here they talk about the circle collapse pacing. The collapsing circle of acrid gas that suffocates stragglers and forces operators to rotate into ever-shrinking arenas performs similarly, just like in the original map. Expect loadout drops during the 2nd and 5th of the 6 circle collapses and a wide variety of final locations to claim victory at, though dead zones. Endgame areas which lack cover or maneuvering choices are being minimized to lessen matches that conclude like the infamous Verdansk Stadium endgame, where it was almost impossible to extricate any team dug in on the roof. Vertical ascenders. Verdansk returns with the 2 types of ascenders you remember, interior and exterior, and there are distinct plans involving each. Okay, I'm curious to see what they do here. Interior ascenders. Rope or cables spanning vertical interiors like the sluice towers of the Gore Dam, the inside of the airport control tower, or the hospital elevator shafts are accessible at launch in all modes. This is fire, and I hope that they make them as fast as they are in the current Warzone, because I was watching gameplay of how these were back in the day, and they were horrible. Now for the exterior ascenders, if you look above, they do have them here in the game, but they won't be on launch. The reason for it is they want the launch to be OG feel. And back in the day, we didn't really have these. For train stations, I know some people were wondering, it will not have interior access, but it will come during mid-season. The moving train will also come back during mid-season. Now let's get into some quality of life improvements, which I do think they did a really good job at this. First and foremost is squad redeploy at buy stations. This next one I think is gonna be pretty cool for whenever you pick up a weapon and you wanna see what's on it. Whenever you inspect the weapon on the bottom right of your screen, you're gonna be able to see the attachments used on the gun. Pretty cool little quality of life feature. Prioritize favorite loadout in the gunsmith is back. Whenever you favorite a loadout, it'll jump to the first on your loadout, so that way it's very easy to grab whenever you're in game. They also added this detailed death recap widget, which this is going to be pretty cool for all the hacker hunters out there. Players can now see why they were on a minimap, because if I have to hear, how did you know that guy was there ever again, I'm gonna lose it. They say every time you're eliminated in a match, you're likely to get a glimpse of your opponent and a brief HUD message regarding how they managed to defeat you. This death recap will be further augmented with more details showcasing gameplay elements that the attacker utilized during the fight. Current and new recaps include list of attackers with their name, weapon, damage, and hits, whether you were affected by a live ping, affected by a UAV, or affected by an unsuppressed weapon. They say as the season progresses, this feature will roll out additional gameplay tracking elements. They also updated the squad widget, which is on the bottom left of your screen. This will show you your members of your squad, the icons showing their armor plates, gas mask, and kill streaks. Now, even field upgrades so you can see what your friends are carrying. Now, for Season 3, let's get into what maps, modes, events, and weapons are coming back. When it comes to Verdansk, it'll have 150 players and 25-minute matches, which I do think will make the game feel way more intense. They added something that I actually don't think is a bad thing. They added Battle Royale Casual. This is meant for players that are new to kind of get into the game and feel it. It has 148 players, but it consists of players and bots. 28 players and up to 120 bots. I can see people using this to warm up, but for the most part, it's gonna be for newer players. Thunder is returning with 100 players, so you can go in and level up all your guns because you're more than likely gonna need to with all the new guns coming back. Boot Camp is returning as well. Rebirth is back as well, but I don't think it's going to be on launch. It says here launch window, which means that they're probably gonna have 1 to 2 days of Verdansk only, and then they'll bring back Rebirth. Now for ranked play, which I know a lot of people are gonna be excited for this. Ranked play will be on Verdansk, but it will be in mid-season. I do like this. I think give everybody about a month of playing the map to kind of feel that nostalgia again, and then go on and get sweaty on ranked. Call of Duty has added a couple rewards here as well, and they said on April 2nd, Warzone will be down for 24 hours. But they said if you log into Call of Duty and you go to the Warzone section, you will be granted the kilo for free without having to unlock it. Now let's go over the guns that are returning, and honestly, if you don't know at least 3 out of 4 of these, you've been living under a rock. First and foremost, the Kilo is back, and I know a lot of y'all are excited for this one. Next is my favorite gun, the AMAX. It will be on Battle Pass page 6, which I hope is not too crazy, but my baby is coming back. It will have 42 levels, which hopefully isn't too bad. Also, one thing to note here is in the COD pod earlier this morning, one of the developers said they've added something really cool that we actually suggested on one of our podcasts. They pretty much made the default loadouts for anybody that's coming that doesn't want to take the time to level up their weapons to have an actual viable loadout. That means that the default loadouts are going to be actually good and people can actually compete. Honestly, this is a huge W from Activision for listening, because there's going to be a lot of players that come back with absolutely nothing leveled up and possibly just get off the game because of it. Next is the HDR one-shot sniper. This will be on Battle Pass page 3, and it will only have 38 levels. So be prepared to get one-shot sniped across the map. And honestly, I hate snipers, but I'm even excited for this. The most broken melee weapon is back, the Kali sticks. Oh God. Now, what to expect for Season 3's launch and Verdansk's return. Season 3 will start at 9 a.m. PT, but not Warzone. Warzone will go down from 9 a.m. PT on April 2nd to 9 a.m. PT on April 3rd. There will be a 24-hour window where Warzone will be shut down. Then on Thursday, April 3rd at 9 a.m. Pacific time, Verdansk returns. And Call of Duty is doing a 24-hour free Black Ops 6 day. You can then go into Black Ops 6 and level up the HDR, AMAX, and the Kilo to get you ready for Warzone's launch on Thursday. That is everything you need to know before Verdansk drops. And for those of y'all that waited to the end, I got a little leak for y'all. During the Call of Duty podcast earlier this morning, one of the developers said that the Grau is set to return as a conversion kit. I personally hate conversion kits, but the dev did say it does not matter that this is going to be a conversion kit, that the Grau would be really good. So let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for Verdansk to return, or will this game fail yet again?